Welcome to Module 2 Understanding Cybercrime. Let's get started. What are the learning objectives? Understand what qualifies and how it differs from traditional crime. Identify the major players who commit and enable digital crime. Learn how cybercrime operates as an organized service driven market. Recognize why offenders act and how victimization plays out. What is cybercrime? Any offense that uses computers, network, or any digital technology or equipment is called a cybercrime. Cyber dependent crime needs a computer or a digital equipment. Cyber enabled crime is amplified by one. One offender can reach millions of victims across borders instantly. Tactics change as fast as the technology evolve. The cybercrime landscape. If you look at the landscape, there are individuals who are lone actors. There are organized crime groups. They are structured, profit driven. Nation state actors, government backed teams pursuing disruption or espionage. Hack activists, ideologically motivated actors seeking attention or protest. Insiders who are employees or partners who has access, they misuse the information or the access. Good example is in 2016 Bangladesh Bank. There was a heist for about $80 million that got stolen. How is the cybercrime ecosystem looks like? Attackers, those who develop and launch operations. Victims, targets whose money and data was stolen. Infrastructure providers, who provides the infrastructure to do this kind of cybercrime like hosting bots and services. Dark web markets like marketplaces for trading tools, data, and network access. Law enforcement are the part of this ecosystem. These agencies working to disrupt and prosecute the actors who committed the cybercrimes. One example is Silk Road got shut down in 2013, pioneered anonymous dark web marketplaces. Offender motivations, financial motivation is one, ideological motivation is another, espionage, revenge, blend with this kind of cybercrime, then it is not going to be helpful for them or the society that they are living in. Challenge and reputation status. So these are some of the motivations of the offenders. In 2014, Sony Pictures got hacked, and this attributed to one of the films that they released. Somebody didn't like the film, they went and they hacked. This is one of the motivations. Victimization. Individuals can be the victims of the cyber attacks, businesses can be victims, governments can be victims, critical infrastructure such as power, water, and health systems. When they fail, that will impact a lot of corresponding folks who lives or depend on that infrastructure and supply chains. Let's give two examples, right? One is Ukraine in 2015 cyber attack onto the grid shut down the power for a lot of folks, around 200,000 folks. In the supply chain, as we know, in the United States, there is a credit rating agencies. They have so much of information about the citizens, non-citizens, and who has the financial, social security cards and other information, right? Personal PII, credit card information. There are a lot of attacks that happen to that kind of credit agencies. They require more sophisticated security because if the cyber criminals attack that, they can at one shot get more information. They can resell it and get benefit out of the cyber attack. So when there is any crucial supply chain companies, organizations, or information, they need to be protected better. What are the cyber crime markets looks like? So malware as a service is one of the cyber crime markets. Ransomware affiliate programs are there. Initial access brokers are there, specialists who sell footholds into the breached network. Data marketplaces are there. People will hack the data, social security numbers, and they will sell those kind of things in the dark web. There are some marketplaces in that, and now a lot of government agencies are also try to see how the data is being moved, who is purchasing it, and who is selling it. That in a way, government is are doing good job of knowing things in this cyber crime market spaces. Cryptocurrency, now the currency is also digital, so there are a lot of marketplaces for the stolen crypto currencies, and there are some marketplaces which teach. So all sorts of things are there. in this ecosystem. So a good example is our evil gang and ransomware, an affiliate business model that they proposed, and they started operating an affiliate business model, and that got disrupted in 2021. What are the some of the common cyber crimes? Phishing, ransomware attack, business email compromise, identity theft, and financial frauds. A single scam defrauded Google and Facebook of over 100 million between 2013 to 2015 in 2 years, right? So almost 10 years back, Facebook and Google, kind of a big companies with deep pockets and a lot of expertise in the cyber security, were unable to defend. So need to be this cyber security is very important. So as cyber criminology and cyber crimes, we need to focus on cyber crimes and make sure that they will not happen, and we can leverage some of the best practices and tools. Generally, how is the attack life cycle looks like? So researching the target, that's how it starts, and gathering the useful information about the target. The initial access, gaining the first foothold through the phishing or flaw, the way they keep their system. Privilege escalation, expanding controls to higher value accounts and systems. Generally, these hacks happen because they need some reward for their hacks, right? Either financial reward or like previously how we mentioned. So generally, the targets will be higher value accounts or systems. So persistence, establishing a foothold that survive reboots or cleanup. Impact on monetization, encryption, stealing, and fraudulent cash outs are part of this life cycle. So in 2013, Target breach began with a credential stolen from HVAC vendor. Can you imagine that? So Target got breached because one of the vendors had a credential blockage, and that was the reason the offenders were able to penetrate into the Target systems, digital ecosystems. Organized cybercrime, specialized roles from developers to negotiators, support desks. It is like looking very established, organized crime setup. Looks like they have set up for service desks, they have developers, they have different roles also. So interesting to uncover these kind of things in our research. Global collaboration, cross border teams assembled for each operation, profit splits, like revenue sharing. It's amazing to see, and crazy to realize these kind of things are happening, right? Leaked files showed the Conti gang ran like a company with salaries and org charts. What are the human factors? First is trust. Attackers try to exploit the trust. Social engineering, manipulating the people rather than breaking through the technology. Opportunity, weak control. They will look for these offenders, cyber criminals look for the weak controls or weak link so that they can penetrate into that. A routine behavior, if the behavior is predictable, habits give the attackers a reliable pattern. A decision making, stress and urgency push people into the poor choices. As we know, when people are stressed and they are in urgent mode, they will make a poor choices that will give the offenders or the cyber criminals an edge to get into the cyberspace of our personal or organization. In 2020, Twitter hack used phone spear phishing, right? It's so silly, especially to get to 130 high profile accounts, looks like. Enterprise perspective, how this cybercrime is happening are the people. Awareness and culture are the first line of defense, and processes. The companies or the enterprises need to have a very clear procedures and processes to reduce the error and speed of response. The technology, layered control, detect and contain the attacks, governance and accountability policies, continuous monitoring and alerting, right? AI and cybercrime. A flawless, personalized, lures generated scale AI assisted phishing. People, it's like knife, right? This artificial intelligence is. People can use to cut the vegetables or fruits, or they can use to harm the people. This artificial intelligence is also like that. This can be used for the good, and there are some people who has bad intentions. They are using it. And deep fakes, synthetic audio and video are used to impersonate people. Automated reconnaissance means the machines mapping targets far faster than people. Defensive AI models that detect anomalies and speed responses. Future risks, autonomous tools like we discussed, autonomous AI agents are going to be a future risk, or maybe already happening that it's not yet popped up. But just for the context, in 2024, a finance worker paid around 25 million after a deep fake voice video call impersonated executives. A case study, I encourage you to study a recent, well documented ransomware attack to be more specific, and Google for it in the last 1 month or 3 months, and take that as a case study and pin down who are the offenders in that, and who are the victims and what are the opportunities and control, and draw the lessons, determine what defense would have changed the outcome. What are the key takeaways? Cybercrime follows human incentives and openings. Technology scales crime but never fully accounts for it. Like technology is an amplifier. Behavioral insight makes defense more effective. So if we understand the behavior of these criminals using these criminological methods, that are going to be really helpful to not only reduce or avoid or eliminate this kind of cyber attacks. And what are the next module? Module 3, we cover about describing cybercrime to explaining why it happens. Right? Carry the patterns you noticed here to test against the theories. Theory is what let you anticipate the next attack, not just react to it. That's what we are going to learn in the next module. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.